everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it's time for our weekly painting progress. I think our first weekly painting progress that is entirely done on vacation, at least my summer vacation. However, I'm going to have to be kind of quick because my wife and kids were supposed to call sometime in the near future as of when I'm filming this, and no offense to everybody that subscribes to the channel and is part of our Patreon, but I haven't been married to any of you guys for like close to 20 years, so sorry, she takes precedence at times. But nevertheless, we did get some things painted, and I want to show those off because that's what I like to do. So without further ado, first off, we've got this tiny little model, and it's kind of hard to see in the dark here, but I'll see if I can fix that up. This is a Ketone Samurai from Alternative Armies, and he's supposed to be a cat, but he ended up looking like a tanuki raccoon guy. Well, the tail kind of gives it away, but you could use him as just about any kind of anthropomorphic sword fighter. I love the hat and the cloak. You guys know I'm a sucker for samurai models, especially when they're not human ones. The only downside is, for me at least, with the current shipping rates being what they are, it's just so expensive to order from overseas. Alternative Armies is in the UK, and especially post-Brexit, it's tough, but maybe I can scrounge together another order in the near future with my brother, and that way we'll make it a little bit more worthwhile. But at least if you guys are on that side of the pond, they've got a huge range of all sorts of interesting stuff, and you can't go wrong with tiny little samurai kitties. And I do mean tiny. Let me see, here's an actual Bushido model. Out of focus, no less, but you can see here. I mean, they're not tiny, but I think they're a good size, like, dwarf / goblin / non-human size. So anyway, we got another one of him done. I think it was like a 6-pack, 3-pack, 4-pack. It was a multi-pack of figures, and I don't know where the rest are. Slowly but surely, I'll track them down. I think I painted one before, though, didn't I? Maybe. I'm going to have to go back and check. All right, continuing on with clearing out my Atlan Forge backlog. Let's zoom this out a little bit better there. We have another of their Templars. This is one of the heavy weapons guys. Not the most exciting of paint jobs on my end, I will admit that. Let's see if I can brighten it up. I did try to do some highlighting on him, but it's just hard to see with all of that extensive black and with my poor paint skills. But it's okay. From a distance, I think he'll look fine. Considering how many other Black Templar types I've got, I feel like I should pick up one of the GW ones just to have like an official Black Templar. I've got, I don't know how many painted from 3 or 4 different sculptors at least at this point now. But it's fun like that. And speaking of Atlan Forge, I actually have a video coming up on these next figures very soon, hopefully this week. I can't even remember what they were called now. The Gorebringers, I believe. These things are heavy and they're big. These are the first infantry types that I can recall Atlan Forge putting out that they actually had to hollow. They're that big and heavy. And then again, well, that big concrete saw he's wielding around there is probably going to add to some of the heft. It's not hollowed out. I'm assuming, what were they called? Not the Blight Lords. Gorebringers? I don't even know. They were the guys with the cloaks and the poison cannons and the scythes for the Death Guard. I really liked those models, and I had a guy offer a ton of money for them. Way more than I paid, and way more than for the effort I put into them, I thought. And I never have gotten another set since, so I'm going to have to. I really dug those capes. I dug them so much that I actually went ahead and printed up another one of these guys from Atlan Forge with the cape. I thought that was cool. So if you're interested in these guys, we'll have a video on them soon. Oh, shoot. I was going to put that in brass. Oh, well. My highlights seem to have disappeared, but that's okay. They were very poorly done. So again, these are big dudes. I mean, Atlan Forge's Terminator types are big anyways, but these guys are especially large. I like it. You can see more of them later this week. Or next week, or soonish. All right, what else? We've got Our hardcore minis crank orchestra done, and I'm not super pleased with how his face mask turned out. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. It looks even worse in person. I don't know what happened. It's all blah here. I thought the guns, the patterning reminded me of a mouth, so I painted it up like a skull, following the whole skull motif. This dude is armed to the teeth, so to speak. I didn't know what to do with the edging on his boots, so I went with red. White probably would have made more sense. White would have made a lot more sense for all of it, considering it's supposed to be skulls everywhere, but it's okay. I really hope they're doing okay. I mean, obviously with the state of things, I know they're feeling the brunt of it for other people's poor choices out there, but definitely once hopefully things are better for everybody out there in the world, I will be grabbing some more of their models. I would love to check out some of their sets that have like all the, something like one dude is like 40 something parts. It's really crazy, and they have like so many different builds. If you're gonna, you know, magnetize, I those are guys that would absolutely be worth it. All right, this next dude is a print minis model, and I want to say he was like the Doc gang boss or something. And while I did a sloppy job with that Agrax as always, I wanted to paint him up kind of like in Vostroyan colors. I had the idea from going through my 5 parsecs rules, now that I have time to actually read these things. I wanted to put together like a Vostroyan force for 5 parsecs, and he was going to be my captain. He's a big dude though. Bigger than a Primaris. He's on a 40 millimeter base. But I thought that's kind of Vostroyan colors. Kind of brassy gold, the red coat. I don't know about the pants. I can't seem to find any colors for their pants. They always seem to have boots that like go up to their crotches. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but you know, black seems to be okay. Anyway, Gomic had some really nice looking ones, so I'm gonna try getting those printed up. Maybe I'll do a video on those guys too. But anyway, here's the captain. All right, what else? Oh, as promised, I've been slowly but surely trying to pluck away at some of my Kingdom Death models. There's been a bunch of them sitting on the table. Finally finished up the last model from Echoes of Death. Now, I didn't do the best job of aligning her legs way back when, so that's why it's got that weird kind of mark there, and I didn't do a good job of cleaning it up. Could I do a better job on highlighting that armor? Absolutely. Could I have done a better job in general? Sure. Am I satisfied with the results currently? You betcha. I liked this model. I thought she was going to be my favorite of the bunch, next to the Paladin, naturally. She was the best one in the bunch, but I don't know why it took me forever to get this girl finished. I think Echoes of Death 3 is probably my favorite. If you were going to get only one of those Echoes of Death boxes, I think this would be the one, based on the models. For me, my preference. I'll have to get a finished shot of all 4 of them now. And finally, one that probably nobody ever expected, because I've never done a video on this, because I was saving it for the holiday he came from. This is the Halloween Crimson Crocodile Survivor. And yeah, those colors were pretty much what the artwork showed, and you can see his face in there. It's kind of this weird greenish off-white. Now, the greenish color I used came out more bluish, but I'm like, It's just a weird figure. I think he was probably my favorite of the Halloween bunch this year. He's just so goofy looking. I knock him over for the millionth time. So I have slowly been trying to get some of my larger models that I printed up ready for painting. It's taken a lot longer than I expected. I don't know, it's weird not having anybody else in the house besides myself and the dogs and the lizard. It feels like the energy and that drive to get things done as quickly as possible is no longer there, because usually, I'm running around, taking the kids places, helping the wife, doing things with them. But now that they're not here, it's just kind of like, what's the rush, And I find myself taking my sweet, sweet time. But that's always a nice thing, too. I know my wife has appreciated being able to kick back and relax. So, hopefully, next week I'm going to get some big stuff done. We'll see. No guarantees. Something will be painted. Hopefully, I will get Sparkle Trout off his duff and painting too, instead of staring at nothing with his Oculus Rift thing on. And I think that's what it's called, his VR headset that he's been goofing around with for the last week. Yeah, I'm going to call you out on it, buddy. But other than that, I've got piles of stuff that is in need of filming, so I'm going to be quite busy. If you guys have any questions or comments, by all means, drop me a line. I actually have time. I will get back to you right away. And while you're at it, as always, I like to plug the one and only time of the week. We do have our Patreon, where your support is always appreciated. And if you're interested in finding any of this stuff yourselves, we'll have those links down there for you as well. So, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.